Welcome, Earthlings! From the minds of Dylan Oltoft and Rob McNabb, we bring you Laughing on a Prayer!
I must say, you are about the worst podcaster I have ever heard of.
But you have heard of me. Actually, no, wait, no, you haven't.
No one's heard of us.
No one's heard of us.
Alright there, hello there everybody, and welcome to the next episode of Laughing on a Prayer. Who are you?
Mate, I'm Captain Jack Sparrow.
And I'm Commodore Nobbington. I've forgotten his name.
I mean, you're almost there, but you know, we'll stick with Nobbington.
I remember Commodore.
Commodore.
I am Dylan Oltoft and Rob McNabb. We are here for our
You
next...
are Dylan Oltoft and Rob McNabb.
Yes, I am.
You're both those people.
I am Legion, for we are many.
The few.
And we are here to bring you a very special episode. We were asked this question in a previous podcast regarding various celebrities we would do singular episodes on. And after the rousing success of the Tarantino episode,
He says.
we have decided to take a nice gleaming spread look at Johnny Depp.
Yes, and this was actually suggested to us by our very own Molly, and obviously Molly, we love you and thank you very much for giving us content, because we definitely didn't run out of ideas. This is happening.
If any of you guys would like to see me and Rob just simply agree with each other for an hour about a particular celebrity, comment down below your suggestions about how possible episodes or your own opinions on Johnny Depp's, your favourite movies and all that palaga. Rob, would you say right off the mount, are you a fan of Johnny Depp?
Well, you know what, Dylan?
That's my name.
I would have to say that I am. Johnny Depp has brought me a fair amount of joy, or a lot of amount of joy throughout my childhood and also teenage life, and even into my adult life.
I would agree with that. I think that's something that's not quite appreciated as much. I can't think of another actor that has been there since I was little till adulthood, doing what they do, sort of thing. Like, there's so many other actors have like retired or gone on to do other things and all that sort of thing. But Johnny Depp's, he's always been there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a bit like Riley Reid. You know, she's always been there for me when I was younger, and she still is to this day. Consistency, I think, is what's good, and I definitely. Without a shadow of a doubt, have a soft spot for Mr. Depp within my performer, sort of catalogue.
However, we can both agree that he scarcely has a flawless resume.
No.
It hasn't exactly been bulletproof roles after roles after roles. He's had a few hiccups, and whether that is due to a particular director, which will probably have his own episode, or whether that is just Johnny in himself, relays to the question of whether that is not being whether or not Johnny Depp is typecast, or if he is in himself a very versatile actor.
I think he is certainly. I mean, no actor is perfect. No actor does every film perfectly. There are certain films that have fallen flat, that have had Johnny Depp in them. Mordecai, I think, is probably that's probably the prime example of a film that hasn't quite really stepped up to the plate.
I'd honestly forgotten about that.
Yeah.
My worst example of a Depp performance was going to be Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
He did what he could.
I mean, when you got to follow Gene Wilder, that's no easy thing to do.
Yeah.
That's Leto against Ledger.
Yeah. I was literally about to say that. But irregardless, Johnny Depp is I think definitely for our generation is definitely going to be one of the greats that goes down in history about.
Oh, no doubt there. Regardless
films,
of any attempts on his character, his legacy speaks for itself and itself alone.
So, going off that very high point, Dylan, I have a question for you.
Hit me. Ow!
What's your...
There you go. They didn't see it.
Yeah, sorry. Allegedly. Allegedly.
All right, Amber, put down your fists. What you got for me?
Oh, fuck.
We'll be sneaking those in here and there.
Yeah.
Well, what's your question?
So basically, if I was a massive cunt and I wanted to lie about you being an abuser... Oh, wait, no, sorry. No, that's good. Sorry.
Rob, that's enough. I've heard enough. So...
I'm angry at myself that I laughed at that.
Hey Rob, do you remember what what in Jurassic Park they found the DNA within? What was it?
I haven't heard.
I believe it was a particular thing. I think it was what was it? Amber they found the dinosaurs in.
Oh, was it the dinosaurs? Yeah.
They found it with Amber, I believe.
Oh, was it?
I don't know if I've heard otherwise, but
clever girl. But not so
and
much.
ironically, those dinosaurs were less vicious.
At least those dinosaurs, you know, they fucking they did what they meant. Anyway,
what's your question?
My question is, so we were talking about how great Johnny Depp is, but my question is, what is the one Johnny Depp film that you actually do not particularly enjoy?
Again, thing off the top of my head, like I said before, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. That one, I read the book. I watched the Gene Wilder film as a small human like 100 times. I understand what Depp was going for, and what he was going for, no actor could have probably done that well other than Will Ferrell, which was the child in a man body. Fucking Tom Hanks managed it in Big, and Will Ferrell managed it in Elf. And those are the only examples, because every other iteration of a child in an adult's body has been absolutely horrible to watch.
Would you say, though, that Elf and Big, their whole point is that is basically supposed to be a child in a man's body, whereas Willy Wonka, he's not supposed to be a child in a man's body. He's supposed to be like an adult.
I guess that's where the charm disappears, because this is just some closeted... Arrested Development sort of situation where he hasn't really matured or aged properly, and he generally comes across as someone that if they approached a play park, you'd pick your child up and go to the car. Again, I get what Johnny was going for, and again, I don't think any other actor could have done that, other than... Even Will Ferrell would have come off creepy, because again, maybe it's the circumstances surrounding it. Like, you need the right sort of backstory to justify being that awkward, or you're going to come across as very creepy.
Yeah, I feel like I think the that film itself, it had this sort of theme of, you know, Willy Wonka's trauma, because they had, you know, Christopher Lee in it and stuff like that. But then,
Oh yeah, it's his dad.
yeah, he is, isn't he? But I feel that there is definitely there is a separation between, you can have a great actor, but if the writing is not right, then it can't be saved.
I don't know what kind of writing would have saved that movie, but...
Yeah, exactly. And an actor couldn't save it either. So it's like, what are we to do now? You know?
I'd say, again, that's a bit of maybe that's more of an obvious choice, but I can't help it. It's sort of weird that Johnny Depp also once played a character who had literal knives on the end of his fucking fingers, scissor hands, looked like a goth psychopath that lived alone by himself, and yet his Willy Wonka character was more creepy.
Yeah.
I don't know how you pull that off against your previous roles, but something about his Willy Wonka, maybe it's due to the current political or social climate surrounding that sort of mentality, but it has certainly not aged well. Like, it's not like since then people have looked back on it and thought it's actually charming or anything like that. It is certainly, if anything, it's gotten worse with age.
It definitely, I suppose, there's also, the sentiment of like, the sort of weird man that gives children sweets kind of thing.
Oh, let's not go there.
Yeah, but I feel like, I think it's sort of like his high-pitched voice, maybe, sort of.
Yeah, the look, the design. Wilder, I remember, had bright colours on. He had a purple jacket, his top hat was brown, his bow tie was yellow, whereas I remember the Depp Willy Wonka was a lot of, like, dark colours. Like
dark purple that he had.
Dark purple, his hat was like a burgundy sort of maroon. It definitely did not shoot off as, like, bright and eccentric.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So, yeah, I definitely go with Willy Wonka. What about yourself?
Agreed. Again, I think, I think this film in itself is a little bit not hugely well known, but Mordecai.
I actually didn't see it.
Have you not? Well, it's kind of an unknown film. Johnny Depp does play this very. He sort of plays a kind of Gomez Adams-esque character, very eccentric, kind of rich, kind of quirky and weird. The film in itself wasn't very good. I don't even really remember hugely, but I just remember it being very disappointing when I watched it. And it was one of those things where I thought, well,
was it intended as a comedy?
It sort of was, yeah. But I think the point I'm trying to make is that I really thought that at the end of it, I thought. At least Johnny Depp would be entertaining to watch, but it was one of those cases where, even a great actor cannot save the script. And I think that's a good example. Well, let's say a good example, but that's a solid example of that, is that Johnny Depp was in it, but the writing, even he couldn't save it.
In terms of maybe obviously because I haven't seen this, could you explain the character? Like, for example, what he was like to other people, what he was like himself. Did he have any personal quirks?
You've watched Addams Family.
Yes.
Gomez Addams. He was basically a carbon copy of Gomez Addams.
Well, a big part of Gomez Addams is his worship of his wife.
Yeah.
Who,
so imagine,
by the way, is total MILF goals.
So imagine Gomez Addams, but he doesn't have a wife.
That doesn't sound fun.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
A big part of Gomez is passion.
Yeah.
Passion for not only being obviously dark and gothic, but passion for his wife. Like, passion gives Gomez Addams life.
Yeah, exactly. So imagine Gomez Addams, but without...
Castrated.
Yeah, exactly. Not good. No bueno. No bueno.
And how long was this film?
I believe it was a
regular sort of 90-minute thing.
I reckon. It was probably about that. I mean, the thing is, like, I actually, I watched it. I tried to watch it in earnest.
Yeah.
I just couldn't. I mean, at the end of it, I was like, oh, well, that happened.
I'm not trying to give Johnny Depp a hand job here, but in both our examples of his worst role, is there any way perhaps we could praise him for taking on challenging and versatile? Because every actor, you can say, he should have known all along that. Actors take risks with certain roles. They become people you wouldn't typecast them as. And that's the whole point of the medium of acting. So people would think, Johnny Depp should stay in the sort of eccentric, sort of surreal things he does. But for him to then step out of that and do something like Mordecai or Willy Wonka, but you could almost argue is the whole point of being an actor.
But he didn't step out of being eccentric actors doing those two roles, did he?
Well, you'd agree Mordecai is nothing like Jack Sparrow.
Well, no, but like he still played the eccentric sort of actor Johnny Depp.
So then maybe
character.
it's more a fault and bad script than directing. Than
Well, yeah,
the
no,
actor.
that's what I'm saying.
Because that is something that is often looked over. Like, for example, with the Ben Affleck Daredevil, like people often blame him for how bad that movie was. But as we've seen with him as Batman, he can play a good superhero.
Yeah, and you see stuff like, and people are starting to realise, like, season 8 Game of Thrones, people are actually starting to blame the writers for that fuck up.
I think people were blaming that straight away.
Yeah, I know, but that's the point. It's good that people are actually, it's the writers that are being held accountable for their mess ups rather than the actors, much like Ben Affleck was for Daredevil.
Always remember, a scene you didn't like, a director approved of and said that was the final take.
Yeah.
Always remember, the director said that was good, let's move on.
Yeah.
An actor with the right sort of directing can pull off a great performance, but if a director is bad, you'll get a bad scene, regardless of how good the actor is. Yeah. I'd say a director influences the overall feel of a movie.
Yeah, you and I learned that the hard way in second year of uni.
But, okay, on the flip side of that, Johnny Depp's best role, go.
Captain Jack Sparrow, mate.
Okay, let's be a little bit fair here. I'm going to make you choose only one of the Pirates films.
The first one.
Okay, interesting. Because he wasn't... Because as opposed to the second one and the third one, Johnny Depp really felt more like a side character than a main character.
He was supposed to be. Jack Sparrow in the first film was originally supposed to be a side character.
Mainly Will Turner's sort of film.
Yeah, it was supposed to be that way. But Johnny Depp being Johnny Depp, he makes his characters his own thing. I was tempted to talk about Hunter S. Thompson. We will get on to Fear and Loathing in the Rum Diaries later. But the Pirates of the Caribbean film, as a kid, I loved those films. He was an absolute great. He was funny, but he also does the seriousness as well into the next films. But the first Pirates of the Caribbean film, that is an excellent film that demonstrates a character arc of a character that starts off sort of quite reprehensible and like quite bad, he's kind of a dick.
Selfish, self-centered.
Yeah, exactly. But then he has these moments of he has this backstory as well that feeds into the entire thing, into the entire film, and then also at the end he actually sort of resigns himself to doing what he sort of resigns himself out to sort of do what people think is right, but then he's given a next chance at life, and then he does what he does, and it's like that's actually a very nice character arc which makes sense for his character. I think what's good about him, and throughout the other three films, I say the other three films, the other four films, the other ones, I mean, On Stranger Tides is okay, the other one's trash. But the first three Pirates of the Caribbean films.
You liked Stranger Tides better than Salazar's Revenge?
Yeah. Salazar's Revenge.
But Salazar's Revenge had Anton from No Country for Old Men.
Yeah, it doesn't make it bad. Yeah. Willy Wonka had Johnny Depp in it. It doesn't make it not shit. But those first three Parts of the Caribbean films, there was nothing sort of jarring. Like he was consistently strong character throughout. There wasn't anything jarring about him that sort of felt really forced. He's a great character throughout, and what I think is great about him, about Jack Sparrow, is that he's very much like a comedic character. He makes the jokes, but then there are points in the film where he's very serious, and when he's genuinely serious, and that gives so much more gravity to when he's serious.
Do you have a particular scene in mind? Or?
Yes, and it's actually a deleted scene.
Okay.
It is in the third film. between Cutler Beckett, played by Tom Hollander, and Jack Sparrow, when there's this sort of reveal that they actually had previous sort of conflicts in between, where Jack got his pirate brand on his wrist as a deleted scene, and Cutler Beckett says, Jack, you deprived me of a certain cargo, and then Jack says, people aren't cargo, mate. And, you know, that says that Jack actually freed, like, slaves.
Well, yeah.
So he's actually, like, a good guy, and he got branded for it. And I was like, I do not know why they took that line out, because that is such a powerful line. And it really gives depth to him. I don't know why they took it out. It's a fantastic bit.
Supposedly it's also related to his debt to Davy Jones and the Black Pearl sort of thing. Like on his, obviously after being branded the pirate because he refused to cargo slaves or whatever, he made a deal with Davy Jones to get the Black Pearl to sort of escape from that and all that.
Oh, really?
So he made the deal with Davy Jones out of desperation.
Yeah, but, yeah, for sure. But it's like, the fact that he did that is that, like, he's like a good man at heart. And even in the second film, where he actually decides to face the Kraken and, you know, get taken down to Davy Jones' locker, it's like when the rubber meets the road, he is actually a good character, even though he acts like he's not. And even though he does, like, dickish stuff, he's something that I feel it makes him, like, very, very believable as, like, an actual person. And then also the way that Johnny Depp actually sort of takes on this character and makes it his own, I think is incredible. He's my favourite. I'm definitely probably looking through this through nostalgia glasses, but definitely. But
so out of the first one, the second, the third one, the fourth, and the fifth one, the first one is still regardless your favourite.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have a favourite scene from that as a closing bit from that? The favourite scene from the first one?
Yes. My favourite scene is it's a bit of an odd scene because it's not really like a massive bit within the film, but it's the scene in the cave.
Oh, when Barbossa's about to remove the curse.
Yeah, about to remove the curse. This is just always my favourite bit. I don't know why. It's probably weird, but it's like when he cuts Elizabeth's hand, or she lied about being Elizabeth Turner, and then there's like this really, really powerful music, and then it's like, did it work? How do we tell? And then Barbossa, Jeffrey Rush, incredible. He just rolls his eyes, pulls out a pistol, shoots Pintel, who's this other guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You're not dead." No, he shot me.
Yeah.
and then they start to like rebel against Barbossa, and then Barbossa pulls out his sword. And I was like it's one of those things. Like, it's at the same time it has this real big gravitas, so it's a really important moment, but then it's turned into a comedic moment. I was like, oh, it's so well done. And it's always my favourite bit. I always love that bit.
Very weird. Did you find it, obviously, in the third one, I found it very jarring when they brought him back, because obviously Calypso, the voodoo swamp witch, however they decided to phrase her, I honestly believe between the second and the third one, they completely changed how she was meant to be, because in the second one, she was like some sort of voodoo swamp witch that Jack had a relationship with. And then the third one, out of nowhere, it turned out, she's the goddess of the sea.
The goddess Calypso,
I think she was more interesting as the voodoo swamp witch, but whatever. But then she turned out she brought back Barbossa from the dead. Okay, and then he's in the third film and he gets to carry on living and all that shit.
Yeah, that was the line I thought was a bit goofy. It was like, you brought Barbossa back. It's like, because Barbossa was only dead. He was only dead. Okay, so being dead doesn't really have much gravity. So, but Jack Sparrow is taken. It's like, so you can bring people back from the dead, that's fine, but it takes a real big thing to bring someone back who's taken to Davy Jones' locker, which apparently is no one, because Jack's the only fucking guy there, except for his own mind, where he's playing him. So, although to be fair, that is a really funny scene.
I do like the women with the multiple jacks, but not even then. When Calypso was finally freed and she gets her vengeance, she makes it rain for like 20 minutes, and there's a whirlpool, and that's it. Yeah, that's the goddess of the sea's revenge, is it?
Yeah, she makes the she makes the whirlpool until she stops making the whirlpool. Okay,
that was her revenge for years of subjugation.
Big whirlpool, which I will add, there were 2 ships in that whirlpool, neither of which sunk. Oh no, wait, one of them did sink, but of its own accord. Because it can submerge like a submarine.
The only good thing that came out of that was the creation of a meme. Because I've seen this a lot more on the Facebook at the moment sort of thing. Like you see like say it's the idea of a girl that's saying, you can't play video games all night long. And it cuts to Davy Jones saying, what, you're afraid to get a bit wet?
Yeah. No, I've got that.
The actor that played Davy Jones was awesome.
Oh yeah, Bill Nighy.
That was so good.
No, don't worry. I'm well aware.
Do you fear death?
Do you fear death? No, trust me, I know this meme. It's like I don't want to look at your 4,000 points of model soldiers. You're afraid to get wet.
Yeah, that is a good meme. But no, Jack, I did like.
And also I'm a little busy at the moment. That one, you know.
Well, wasn't that Barbosa? Yeah, Barbosa. When
Barbosa was trying
to
marry them. He's like, I'm a little busy at the
Is that a thing? For whatever fucking reason, ship captains are ordained to marry people?
I actually don't know. I feel like it.
That sounds like bullshit.
I feel like it might be a little bit of folklore.
Yeah, it must.
But it was like
they even did it in How I Met Your Mother.
Did they? I haven't seen that.
Oh, don't worry.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, I feel like, but you know, it's like Pirates of the Caribbean. I think what I like about it is that it amalgamates the sort of seriousness and also comedy within itself, and it does it well. And it's.
Would you say Johnny Depp had good chemistry with like Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley, or were they just like bland pieces of toast that he had to do his best with? As a lot of people tend to say.
I think he did them quite well. I think they worked.
Orlando Bloom's definitely the straight man. Like obviously he's like law and order.
He's
honor.
He's the lawful good sort of guy, but then he's not because he, you know.
And Jack's definitely if we were to D&D sort of like the spectrum of alignment and all that, like he's definitely lawful good. Jack's chaotic good, and Keira Knightley is like, what's the other one? Something good like lawful good, chaotic good, and
is she lawful? Was she?
She's fucking privilege.
Yeah. Will Turner's definitely like lawful good. I think Jack's like chaotic neutral because like he like throughout the films he does essentially kind of do what's just best for himself. He's quite he's not like the points where he has like honourable bits are kind of when he's just backed into a corner and he can't really do anything else.
Well, like you were saying yourself, like when he jumps into the Kraken's mouth, he didn't want to be on that shit.
Yeah, exactly, but he did it because he's just like, okay, fine, I have to do this shit.
Well, yeah, because Elizabeth like handcuffed him, didn't she?
And then he even tried to get out of it. He wriggled himself free of the cuffs, and he wanted to get away, but then he was like, okay, now I have to do this, but it's like, if like given the choice, I mean, if
you're gonna go out, out swinging.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, attacking a kraken. Yeah.
I'd love to know how Johnny Depp filmed that. If they made like 4 square inches of ship deck, and he just had to look at this big green screen and go, "Hello, beastie," and then just run it.
I know that when there's a scene when the kraken, one of the scenes where the kraken attacks a ship. They had these massive, like, big kind of pillars that, like, you know, they were blue, so you could CGI stuff. And then they actually crashed them into, like, a model ship.
Oh.
That are, like, massive, big model ship. They actually crashed it into them and then CGI tentacles. So, like, a lot of that is actually, like, real, like, breaking stuff, which I thought was kind of cool.
That is kind of cool. Obviously, I would say it's nigh impossible to practically affect a moving, wriggling tentacle. Like even Lord of the Rings had to CGI a squid and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And if Lord of the Rings,
I mean, that squid was like kind of smaller than the kraken, but still.
I'd say doing the practical effect of like animatronics. Like, there's no way you'd be able to do the fluidity.
Yeah.
Like practically. Yeah. I mean, hey, any practical special effects people listening, prove me wrong in the comments.
Which they're not listening.
But in terms of it, that's a good favourite Johnny Depp role. I guess my favourite would have to be Sweeney Todd, and I've covered a lot of Sweeney Todd in the musical theatre episode, so I'll try and keep this short. But Johnny Depp seemed to emote. I'm not saying act. I'm saying he seemed to emote, and the two aren't necessarily conflatious, because he seemed to emote, not just act, but he seemed to emote a genuine aura of visceral content, and it seemed beyond just acting. Like it's sort of like we've discussed in previous podcasts, like being in the room with this man, you have no idea if he's about to offer you a cup of tea, or like we saw in the film, take the teapot and bash your brains in with it. And again, the singing is just flawless. Like somehow you've created an elegant villain that is just evil yet fucking delicious to watch. That sounded suspect, but I mean
I think
Sweeney Todd to me is gothic honey.
I think what I really like about Sweeney Todd, or the Johnny Depp Sweeney Todd, is that it would be so easy for him to be the sort of smiling villain, which would be cheesy. But he's not. He's the fact that the lack of smiling that he does makes him more sinister. Because I feel like the idea of the smiling villain is cheesy now.
Well, yeah, he carries his pain with him everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Like the smiling villain now is like cheesy. And
almost reminds me a bit of Frank Castle in a way.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, exactly. Like he's definitely dark and brooding. They're both out for vengeance, obviously. But like, if Frank Castle, I'm talking about the John Bernthal Punisher.
Yeah.
Essentially. If he was to like smile, and if he was to smile during his killings, I would not be able to take him seriously. Whereas I think people think that, it's more sinister if the villain is smiling. It's like, well, no, it's not actually.
I think it depends on the context.
The context in those characters, is the fact that like if they were to smile, like if Sweeney Todd in the Johnny Depp one was to smile, I think it would be a bit cheesy. I think it'd be a bit corny. I think it would also, again, like the John Bernthal Punisher, if he was to smile, I think that'd be corny. I like how those two characters, the Johnny Depp character, I like how they don't smile, because it's more, it's like, oh, these people actually have hatred.
Well, yeah, you never get the feel that the Johnny Depp character, Sweeney Todd, enjoys killing. He gets immersed in the moment. And yet, it's because he sees his killing as a means to an end. Oh, killing people will get me to the judge. And then, again, there's the whole song about a little priest, like the idea of serving up the top to those down below. And he sees himself as some sort of twisted angel of retribution or something like that. But you never get the feel like he's happy. He's just waiting for his moment.
Yeah, and that gives depth to the character.
Absolutely.
I think that gives depth to the character. That even though he's doing what he wants, doesn't mean that he's feeling better about it.
No. Even when he did finally kill Judge Turnpin, he was empty.
And also the fact is that it would be so easy, again, we talked about cliches in the Tarantino episode, about how it'd be so easy to have him sort of laughing or whatever while he cuts this guy's throat. But the fact that he doesn't.
Oh yeah, he stabs him in a fit of rage.
And it shows,
looks at him, slits the throat.
And that shows the hatred. And that's what gives it gravity.
Well, he'd been in prison for like 15 years or something like that. Like,
I think that, that is something that gives that character real good gravity. And I think Johnny Depp, I probably knew that, and I think I would definitely commend him on that performance of Sweeney
Absolutely.
Todd. Sweeney Todd, again, another Johnny Depp film that I would gladly watch again. I've watched it. I've watched Sweeney Todd at least 3 times. The film. I've even seen the stage play.
I've always wanted to see the stage
Oh,
play.
the stage play is so good because they've got
I'd also
real life
argue-
like squirting blood and shit.
I'd also argue it is not easy to act and sing at the same time.
Oh.
And Johnny Depp holds these notes and this way of singing so well while maintaining his character. Like I've seen, you see a lot of people that sing, they lose themselves in the singing itself. Like their face can contort to the notes they're trying to put out. But Johnny Depp seems to maintain the character's demeanour even while singing, and it's very impressive.
Yeah, and he does what is, it's like he's singing, but it's like he's in character singing.
Yes, exactly.
He's not just a guy singing. He's Sweeney Todd,
lamenting.
who's also swinging.
Yeah.
Singing this song, which I think, again, especially on camera, I think is very hard to do. And I mean, I couldn't do it.
Also, I can't imagine it's very easy having to sing opposite towards Severus Snape.
Yeah, it's
Alan Rickman and his sonorous, solemn tones.
I mean,
that is a hard thing to act opposite to.
Those two, again, two powerhouses of actors in the same room together. And then also
I wouldn't say there was a single bad actor in that film, really.
You got Helena Bonham Carter as well. You got these absolute, incredible, absolute, fucking monsters of actors.
Even the actor that played his little stooge, the actor that plays Peter Pettigrew in the Harry Potter films, he's also
Timothy Spall.
He's also quite a famous actor himself. He's had an amazing career.
Yeah, so you got all these. It must have been. It must be amazing.
He was on Red Dwarf.
Yeah, it must be amazing to be in like a group of those just absolute, legends of acting. Because like people like Alan Rickman, Johnny Depp, they're part of our generation, and Helena Bonham Carter as well. In like 80 years' time, they will be like, well, I say 80 years old, but like, when we're like 80 years old, they will be like our sort of John Waynes and stuff like that. We're like, oh, Helena Bonham Carter, oh, Johnny Depp, you should have been around when he was a fucking like they will be like
now it's Takeshi 6969 in Fast and Furious 42.
Takeshi Snitch 9. Yeah. Fuck it. Yeah.
Whatever the next generation of bullshit. The next generation of action heroes will probably be superheroes. Like, the next generation, there is no real current action heroes other than fucking Fast and Furious. The next generation of action heroes will probably be from superheroes, Marvel.
No, it will be. And the thing is I think that's true as well, is that, like, Marvel for us, that'll be, like, our Star Wars for people in, like, the, the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I think that's what it would be for us. And then, film studies students in, again, 20 years' time, will be looking back. It's like, oh, so these films came out with a Marvel universe? Robert Downey Jr., oh my God, that guy was in that film. He's like fucking 99 now or something. So, I don't even know how old Robert Downey Jr. But it's definitely like, products of the time that it's interesting that
if the MCU is Star Wars, what does that make the DCU?
For that time, probably like Alf.
Oh, that's tragic.
But then again, there'll be things like people will be going back to like the Dark Knight trilogy. People will be watching that and be like, "Holy fuck, that was."
I like to think that's a film that will remain timeless for a long amount of years to come.
Oh, I think it will. I mean, the Dark Knight, the actual Dark Knight film, that is a film that I would happily rewatch again.
You could honestly rewatch that without needing the Begins or the Rises.
You don't
can just watch it on its own.
Yeah, it's a standalone film, which is really, and it's definitely the most successful out of the three.
I would almost equally say, going quickly back to Pirates of the Caribbean, I could sometimes... Dead Man's Chest is an alright film to watch on its own.
It's good.
It goes all over the place, but it's a very simple narrative. It starts off with Jack sort of getting the black spot. He's on the run. They go all over the place. There's that island, that big fucking three-way fight that lasts for like 5 minutes. That's really enjoyable. Lots of good set pieces, and the way it ends, and it's got a good like beginning, middle, and climax.
Yeah, it's got good. It's got a good like first, second, third act stuff. And also, I will say, and I have to say this: the Pirates of the Caribbean music is glorious.
Oh, Davy Jones on that organ squid shit.
Yeah, and just the soundtrack, like all of it.
I don't know who did it.
Hans Zimmer.
Oh, of course it was. Does any other music production orchestra composer get work in Hollywood other than him? Name me another composer, I dare you.
I don't know the guy, but the guy who... oh, was it... no.
Well, then it doesn't matter.
Who was the fucking guy who... No, who was the fucking... who was the fucking guy that composed Lord of the Rings? That dude.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. I
can't remember his name.
And we're meant to be fucking Lord of the Rings Bibles. We should know that.
We should do a lot of things, to be
fair enough.
Okay,
so Sweeney Todd, that's a good one.
Yeah, Sweeney Todd. That is a great
disturbance in the force.
Fear and Loathing Las Vegas. That Johnny Depp.
We should go to that, yeah.
Yeah, we should go to that. The Johnny Depp plays.
They're feeding alcohol to these dinosaurs. Won't be long before they destroy us all.
You can't stop it. It's a bad country.
When the drugs kicked in. Love that film.
So, what I find very admirable about Johnny Depp is that he actually spent a lot of time with Hunter S. Thompson and sort of practice listening to him and practice his voice. So he could actually try and make his voice as, kind of like Hunter S. Thompson as he possibly could.
Yeah. Quick thing. While we're talking about it, do you want to let them know quickly what Fear and Loathing Las Vegas is about?
Okay, so Hunter S. Thompson, he was an American journalist. He basically pioneered what is called gonzo journalism. Now, what gonzo journalism is it comes from kind of an old American phrase like, oh, gonzo, which means, it's absolutely nuts, or it's crazy. Oh, man, that's gonzo. It's just crazy. So gonzo journalism...
Kids just thinking about the Muppet.
Yeah. So gonzo journalism is basically sort of journalism it's sort of like kind of rambling thought in a way, but it's very much to do with just kind of the personal writer's thoughts, and it's kind of crazy, kind of weird and wacky. That's what Hunter S. Thompson he kind of pioneered this whole thing of gonzo journalism. So he even wrote a book, I think, called Gonzo. Anyway, Fear and Loathing Las Vegas is about his experiences. It's quite his experiences visiting Las Vegas. And Hunter S. Thompson, if you don't know who Hunter S. Thompson is, I highly recommend that you look him up. But,
was he very fearful and possibly loathing while
well, he did a lot, and I mean a lot.
By the way, parents, quickly put the kids to bed.
A lot with a capital A. A lot of drugs. Okay. And it's set in Fear and Loathing is set in the sort of 70s, kind of Vietnam. It is going on, but he's taking this trip to Las Vegas, and it's a very hard film really to describe, but I would highly recommend watching it because Johnny Depp's performance is absolutely incredible. And if you watch his performance in this film and then you watch interviews with Hunter S. Thompson, you can definitely tell that Johnny Depp did his research. His voice is identical. It's uncanny how close Johnny Depp's voice is to what Hunter S. Thompson's voice is, and his actions, the way he.
We're talking disaster artist level impersonation.
Well, it's better than that.
Really?
Better. Yeah, no, disaster artist.
I thought he did a really good job in the disaster
artist is like a parody. Fear and Loathing is like a genuine attempt, which Johnny Depp actually really pulled off very well. It's also got Benicio del Toro People that know about The Wolfman, great film, love that film. He's also in a few other films that I can't can't remember. But Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas is definitely it's one of those films that I think everyone should watch at least once.
Oh yeah.
It's not one of those films that you just sort of stick on and say, "Oh, I feel like watching Fear and Loathing in
you
Las
need
Vegas."
to pay attention.
Yeah. It's not one of those. It's not one of those films that you sort of casually watch.
Thing is, you don't want to miss anything because you'll be like, holy shit! What at the corner of your eye? That was awesome. You don't want to miss anything.
Yeah, no, you don't. It's a bit like it's one of those films that I feel is a bit like the 2017
Sorry,
2019 Joker film.
All right.
It's not one of those films where you're like, oh, I'm just gonna put on Joker. It's like no, you don't. You like if you put on that film, it means that you actually you have to watch it. Like you can't just sort of have it in the background.
Unless you're a psychopath that watches it on repeat. So.
Yeah. But no, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas is again, I think an exceptional example of Johnny Depp's
acting prowess.
Yeah, acting prowess to where he actually really gets into the character.
I'd agree.
I really.
Do you have a favourite scene from the movie, perchance?
Yes, I do. I do. Yeah. The one is when Benicio del Toro takes a load of acid and he's in a bathtub.
Weirdly, that doesn't narrow it down.
Yeah. Well, there's two. Oh god, I ain't to three. Okay, so I'll do it. The first one is when they're hiring the car to go to Las Vegas.
Oh yeah.
Or whatever. The guy who's hiring out the car, so he's like, oh, you fellas haven't been drinking, have you? No, of course not. We're responsible people. And then he just reverses back like over into the middle of the road,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really fun. And then there's where Benicio del Toro's character takes a load of acid and he breaks in the room. He's like, did you eat all this acid? And he's like freaking out in the bathtub, and then eventually they go to the airport. He goes home. The attorney goes home, and then he has this it's like too rare to live, too weird to die. And he's like, God damn it! I do not know what that means, but fuck yeah.
Living in the moment, I guess.
Yeah.
Fair enough. That is a good one. It's been honestly a long time since I watched it. I mean, I need to rewatch it. It's always worth it.
Yeah, it's one.
I can't think of an evening that's not ruined from watching that film, unless maybe you're a nun on her period or something.
All right. I remember the first time I actually watched that film. I was hungover as shit.
How old were you? I was 14, I think, when I first watched it.
Oh, I was 18.
Oh shit!
Because I bought all the booze for that party. Because everyone else was.
Sounds like a good party. Booze and Fear and Loathing.
Yeah, no, but it was afterwards. Like, everyone got really drunk the night before, and then we were like all sleeping on the floor at this guy's house, and then for whatever reason, like there were like 4 of us left after everyone went home. We just started watching it.
Fair enough.
Jesus Christ!
I would not say that's a film to watch when you're hungover.
Yeah, no,
because the shit that's going on is
definitely fucking wasn't. I was like, oh mate.
Like watching Equilibrium while on an acid trip.
Yeah, I was like, oh mate, I've got to fucking watch this fucking game again, fucking film again, and then afterwards, because there's that infamous lizard scene where he takes the acid when he goes into the fucking thing. Yeah. I remember like not shortly after that, but like a few sort of months after that.
So man was filming alcohol to these lizards.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, and then like a few months later, I actually took acid. and went to a pub, and I was like, oh fuck, acid is actually really not fun.
Yeah, it's sort of weird. Whenever people try to describe the taking of acid, they always lament it to be an example to something that's absolutely crazy. It's like this, but on acid. Whereas acid does not work that way on people.
Yeah,
you don't suddenly go into psychedelic insanity and anything like that.
No, you don't. It actually fucking sucks. Like the worst thing about acid is that you know when you get really drunk.
We're
right?
guessing this, by the way. So yes,
You know when you get really it's relative to fear and loathing. Like when you get really drunk and then you go to the toilet and you're like, okay, get your head in the game, sort yourself out, get your head straight. Sort of thing.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, right. When you do acid, the more you try to do that, the worse it gets. Like the more you're like, okay, right, gotta sort yourself out, but it just gets worse. Acid fucking sucks. You can't sober up. Like when you're drinking with it, like you just have to fucking ride it out. It was really fucking bad. And that was the
See
time.
where you wake up.
Yeah, exactly. And then it was at that point, and that was the worst part. I fucking went to bed, my mate's house, but you're still fucking tripping, and it's like you can't go to sleep on it. Like if really like people think, oh, acid's crazy, man. It's like no, it's crazy, but it's really actually not. It's not good. It's not good. Can't be doing that. And then when you don't see lizards and shit, but you can understand sort of anxiety that he has in that scene. Yeah, you're like, fuck, it's actually real bad because it's not good.
Well, again, that's the whole point of the film, isn't it? How the drugs, like even when they're driving the desert, the bats are coming down and all that sort of thing. Like, obviously the drugs are fucking them. Otherwise, it would just be a boring film about two assholes driving through the Nevada desert.
Yeah, and Tobey Maguire. Remember they fucking pick up that dude in the beginning. You remember that? Guy? Yeah. And then there's the part. It's like, oh, does he all right? We're gonna have to drag him out of the desert and kill him. Shit. Did I say that? Or just think it? Was I talking? Or whatever. And there's an Avenged Sevenfold. That band, Avenged Sevenfold. Yeah. They've got a film called Backcountry, which is reference to.
Oh right.
That thing which is about sort of like passing and drugs.
That is a really good Johnny Depp role. Fun thing about Johnny Depp, Rob. Do you know what Johnny Depp's first film ever was?
Oh, was it like Critters 3 or something? No, Platoon.
Nah, a lot of people say Platoon, but it wasn't.
Oh, he was in Platoon.
He was in Platoon.
He's
the
only
first
in the
one.
extended cut of Platoon.
Really?
Yeah, he's not. He's only in the extended cut of Platoon, I believe.
That's weird.
I don't think he's actually in like the sort of the coverage. Anyway,
a lot of people say Platoon, but Johnny Depp's first ever film, believe it or not, was the first Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh yeah.
He was the one that got sunk into his bed with the giant hydrant of blood to come out of it, sort of thing. That was Johnny Depp.
That's fucking nuts.
His first.
I'm thinking of fucking DiCaprio. His first film was Critters 3.
Really? I don't think I saw any of the Critters.
Yeah, no, they're shit.
I barely wanted to watch Gremlins when I was little. So.
I haven't watched Gremlins. Though.
I watched it when I was older. They're actually really hilarious to watch as adults.
It's the thing. Oh no, is that Gremlins? The one was like, they're eating her, and then they're gonna.
No. That's Trolls.
Oh, Trolls.
That's Trolls 2. You're thinking of.
Oh my god! Sorry, I fucking.
I don't know if I could have acted better in that film.
I watched that film ironically because I wanted to see the scene.
Yeah.
A bit like The Room. I think The Room though is fucking funny.
So we've covered. Fuck, we've actually still got quite a bit of time left. We've covered Johnny Depp's worst and best. We've covered the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, Fear and Loathing. I'm trying to think if there's some Depp we've missed. How much we need to reach the depth of Depp.
The depth of Depp. Well, there is a film that I really love, and it's a voice acting role he did, which is Rango.
I'm unfamiliar.
Have you not heard about Rango? Well, you should watch it. It's a great film.
Animated film?
Yes, animated CGI film. So basically, Rango is he's this lizard. He's a little lizard.
Okay.
That,
what, like a snake?
No, he's a lizard. Like a gecko, I think.
Are snakes not lizards?
Reptile. I don't know. But he's got legs, basically,
right.
so he's not a snake. He's like this gecko, I think, sort of thing, who's obsessed with being, you know, a famous performing actor.
Okay.
It's called
And Johnny Depp
Rango.
voices him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Called Rango. And
Popular one, was it, or?
oh no, it was. Yeah, no, it's a very good film. I love the film.
Just curious, was it DreamWorks or like?
Was it DreamWorks? Oh, I think it might have been. It might have been, yeah.
It wasn't Pixar, like.
Don't think. No, it wasn't Pixar. It was DreamWorks.
Okay.
But he's this gecko sort of lizard. He dreams of being a famous actor, and anyway, the story is that he is sort of on this, you know, kind of long Nevada desert road, and the car hits a bump. He falls out of his tank, and then has to make his way sort of in this makeshift kind of Western cowboy sort of town that's, you know, obviously loads of animals, you know, that sort of hang out in the desert, kind of live in.
Okay.
And then there's this whole thing about how, you know, obviously water in the desert is very scarce, and there's this whole sort of conspiracy about how, you know, the kind of government body within the town are keeping the water away from the people, and they're trying to starve the people out of water. And then he basically, what he does is he pretends to be like this wild gunslinger sort of thing, because he's an actor, so he pretends to be a real big, you know, kind of John Wayne kind of thing. And then obviously he's way out of his depth and stuff like. But it's a great.
So sort of like the liar reveal thing from like Bug's Life, where they think all the insects are like warriors.
Like that. Yeah, like that. But he himself pretends to be this sort of you know, big badass who well, actually, funnily enough, the bad guy is actually played by voiced by Bill Nighy. But he pretends to sort of be like this big sheriff who's killed all these people, and he's a great fucking hero, and everyone looks at it. But it's a really good film, actually. I always go back to it because, again, the comedic timing and stuff like that.
Good, like slapstick.
Very good stuff, and it's very much like it's like Johnny Depp is very much, he's taken on this character as really just like really as a film in itself, you know, like it wraps itself up really well. The plot is strong, the characters are strong, and it's almost like a farce as well, a farcical kind of film, which you know, again, you know, very good sort of shenanigans and quinky things and stuff like that. But Rango, that's a Johnny Depp film that was sort of underlooked, I think, past his always other stuff. But if you haven't seen it, I recommend you should, because it's a good one.
Well, there's another film we mentioned before that didn't do too well, as I recall. But I didn't see it, Transcendence, and you did?
I saw Transcendence.
Any good? You said that, even though the only reason I bring it up is because I recall seeing on buses Johnny Depp's face was slapped right on the front and all that, and you say he was barely in it.
Yeah, this is what's called star signification, where you have big famous face, stick it over them.
I call that false advertising.
Well, it's star signification. They get big famous guy. I'll be honest, I only saw the film once, and it.
No good?
I can't even really remember what it's about. It was one of those films where it had potential for a good plot line, but it sort of fell flat, and then also didn't have very much potential for good characters either. And you're like, okay, so you kind of failed in both those departments. So I watched the film once. So I don't really have much desire to watch it again. I just remember Johnny Depp not being in it nearly as much as it was said that he was. Maybe I'm missing something, but
powerful stuff.
Yeah, powerful stuff about Transcendence.
There's a lot of other Depp roles, but the thing is, me and Rob eventually plan to do a Tim Burton episode. So we, as much as we'd love to dive into stuff like Edward Scissorhands and Corpse Bride and all those other roles.
Oh yeah, and also the fact that cunt cheated on Helena Bonham Carter. Are you dumb, mate? Are you dumb, Tim?
I mean, she would have. I'd be willing to bet she'd wear the Bellatrix dress in bed. What more do you need?
Okay, I'm gonna need to leave for like 3 minutes. I'll come back.
But I think we can both agree that despite current ongoings that are absolutely precarious, Johnny Depp is an absolutely outstanding, versatile actor with a long legacy of films under his belt that personally cannot be smeared.
No.
Smeared like an amber turd. Wait, sorry, what?
Yeah, I'm smeared. No.
You can try, bitch, but you're not gonna win.
Yeah, fucking ass.
It's the last minute. No one's at this point. Fuck you.
Unless you are Amber Turd, in which case, fucking.
Did you imagine she was listening? Big fan of the series until this bit.
See, I don't want her to be a big fan of the series.
Yeah, that's the point.
I don't want you to be a big fan of the series. That bitch, I'm a fucking turd.
I've always thought that, like, imagine, like, you post a point saying, I fucking hate racists on Twitter, and then a bunch of people, and then a bunch of racists on Twitter, like 1,000 of them tweet you hate comments. I'd be like, I don't care. I want racists to hate me, because I don't like racists. I don't give a fuck if Hitler hates me. He's Hitler. Yeah. I don't give a fuck if domestic abuse carriers hate me. Fuck you.
I mean, Hitler's dead, though. Yeah.
If Hitler or is he in Argentina?
If Hitler, like, you know, DM'd me on Instagram, I'd be like, bro, Hitler DM'd me on Instagram.
I can't believe we never did that conspiracy on the conspiracy episode. The whole idea that he's in Argentina as an old man or something.
Yeah, fucking. Oh, we should have done. So I dropped the ball on that one.
Wait, hang on, because very soon, and from what Rob's told me, from when I developed a little bit of concept art, there's soon going to be a spooky and conspiracy spin-off series, isn't there? With some other people from the company.
It's not going to be a spin-off series. It's going to be a new what was it? I guess audio series. Audio series, which it's coming right now. I've actually it's weird I'm plugging this right now, but
it's all right. We're at the end. It's all right.
Yeah. Of folklore, spooky stories, and kind of scary stuff. You know, I'm trying to mix stuff up a little bit.
Still in development, isn't it? We're like, do we have a name yet?
No, not yet.
All right, cool.
No, not yet. But we will have a name. Much like, you know, chapter 3, essentially, of my book is going to come out at some point when I feel like it.
Recording is a bitch, isn't it? Because Rob has a really fancy microphone that picks up a gnat's fart.
That'd be fun if it wasn't true. And anyway, yeah. So, you know, we got stuff going. We got stuff coming on.
Very soon we may do a follow-up of our bookshop episode where me and Rob read out from our books, because Rob has very recently been reading on my own book and delivering amazing feedback to that, and apparently he's been enjoying it.
I have been enjoying it. I am on, I've just finished chapter 5, moving on to chapter 6.
That's when the Daleks turn up. So, how amazing would Johnny Depp be in an episode of Doctor Who?
Oh, he's American though.
So what? I want to see Johnny Depp as Davros.
Because it's look.
I gave you the Destroyer.
We don't have a lot to be proud of in this country, okay? But at least we've got Doctor Who. All right, we're not gonna let the Americans ruin that for us.
What about the recent seasons?
Well, that's Chris Chinballs. I've said my.
Yeah, we've covered that.
Yeah,
Is Doctor Who still something to be proud of?
Look, like we've got to take what we can. Like
a Johnny Depp Doctor, I'd watch that. I'd give that a watch.
I'd probably watch that.
Even if it's like for comic relief or something, I'd watch that. Johnny Depp as the Doctor. Make fucking Margot Robbie his fucking assistant or something.
Okay, I'm on board.
I think that'd be kind of cool.
Oh.
Someone make that happen. Entertainment people. Yeah.
Yeah, do that. We've got like over 100 subscribers on YouTube, so you need to listen to us because we're influencers now.
Yeah, and about 4 of them actually watch the episode without being prompted.
Well, not in the traditional way.
Right then, guys, once again, please drop down any questions you have for me and Rob below down in the comment section. We will answer them, give you a shout out. And anything, your own favourite Johnny Depp films and moments we may have forgotten, your favourite moments from the Pirates of the Caribbean films, or any moments from the Joe Depot.
Oh, yeah. And again, if there are any suggestions for potential episodes we might want to chat a heck of a lot of bollocks about.
Don't just say celebrities, though. We want, fucking branch out a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Even stuff that we know nothing about, because we are absolute experts at chatting shit.
The prolapsed anus episode.
Yeah, like absolutely anything. Like, we're very good about talking with the absolute authority about stuff we know nothing about.
We can wank on for a while, can't we?
Oh, yeah, no, we can, yeah.
The thing about quantum physics, Rob, is that it's a hard word to spell.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, it's like mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, and everything is made up of cells. Therefore, I've solved science.
There we go. Next week, we solve racism.
Yes, exactly.
2 white guys like us.
Let's solve racism now.
Oh, God.
Racism is bad. Solved it.
It is and all, isn't it?
Yeah.
Holy
Racism is
shit.
bad. Yeah. Also, do you know what? Homophobia is gay. That's how you solve homophobia. If you told homophobes that being homophobic is gay, they'll
stop doing it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Homophobia is gay.
That reminds me of that thing from Family Guy when Carter Pewterschmidt really hated Christmas. And Peter says, "Wow, Carter, I didn't know you were Jewish." "Wait, what?" "Yeah, Jewish. Is that how people are thinking?" "Yeah." And then it turns out, and then he puts Christmas back on because he doesn't want to be...
Okay.
I can't do a Peter Griffin impression. But... So yes, guys, drop all that down below in the comments.
Yes, and until next time, y'all have been listening to
Laughing on a Thread.